Let me tell you something, my friends. Transformation doesn't happen by accident. It's not luck, it's not chance, and it's certainly not magic. It's built step by step, decision by decision, day after day. You see, 2025 won't be a year that changes you unless you decide it will be. You can't just wish for a better life. You've got to work for a better life. Now, these 10 rules I'm going to share with you aren't theories. They're not slogans to decorate your wall. They're practical, powerful principles that can take you from where you are to where you want to be. Whether it's in your finances, your health, your relationships, or your mindset, these rules will act as a roadmap to a higher standard of living. But here's the secret. It all starts with responsibility. If you want a new life, you must first take charge of the old one. You've got to say, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Because transformation begins the moment you stop making excuses and start making changes. So, as we go through these 10 rules, I want you to think big, but start small. Discipline, consistency, and purpose. Those are your tools. If you'll live by these rules, 2025 won't just be another year on the calendar. It'll be the year you redefine what's possible. Now, get ready. Because your transformation begins today. Taking full responsibility for your life and results is the first and most powerful step toward true transformation. It means refusing to blame circumstances, people, or look for where you are right now. It's about realizing that everything in your life, the good, the bad, and the in-between, is a reflection of the choices you've made. The moment you accept that truth, you regain your power. Because as long as you blame something outside yourself, you surrender control. But when you say, I am responsible, you take back the steering wheel of your life. Responsibility doesn't mean guilt. It means ownership. It's not about blaming yourself for things you couldn't control, but about focusing on what you can control from this moment forward. That mindset alone separates the achievers from the average. Every successful person you admire, every leader, every innovator, every world changer began their journey with this simple but profound realization: no one is coming to save them. They understood that life doesn't owe them anything, and the results they wanted wouldn't appear through hope alone. It would take effort, intention, and accountability. When you embrace responsibility, you start seeing your life differently. You stop saying, I can't, and start asking, how can I? You stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. You stop focusing on what went wrong and begin planning what you'll do next time. That's the mindset shift that turns ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. Taking responsibility also means letting go of excuses. Excuses are comforting lies we tell ourselves to stay the same. They protect us from short-term discomfort, but rob us of long-term growth. I don't have time. I don't have support. I don't have luck. Those are stories, not facts. Everyone has challenges, but those who rise above them are the ones who stop justifying their limits. When you eliminate excuses, what remains is pure potential. The ability to make changes that truly matter. And here's something most people overlook. Responsibility brings freedom. At first, it may feel heavy, like the weight of accountability pressing down. But soon, that same weight turns into power. Because when you're responsible, you're no longer waiting. You don't depend on others to change for you to move forward. You act. You decide. You lead. That's the real freedom. Knowing that the direction of your life lies in your own hands. When you live with this mindset, you naturally develop stronger habits. You start waking up earlier, setting goals with intention, and following through even when no one's watching. You become more self-aware because you're always asking, what can I do better? Instead of, who can I blame? You begin to see mistakes as lessons, not failures. Each setback becomes a stepping stone because responsibility transforms pain into progress. The beauty of this principle is that it applies everywhere in your career, relationships, finances, and personal growth. Once you adopt it fully, your life begins to align with your choices instead of your circumstances. You gain clarity, direction, and confidence because you know your success doesn't depend on what happens to you, but on how you respond. Responsibility is not just the foundation of success. It is the mindset that makes transformation possible in every area of life. Building daily disciplines that shape lasting success is the cornerstone of personal transformation. Success doesn't come in one giant leap. It comes through consistent, deliberate actions repeated every single day. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about creating habits that align with your goals, not your moods. Many people dream of a better life, but only a few are willing to commit to the daily practices that make it possible. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's often quiet, repetitive, and unseen, but it's the secret ingredient behind every great achievement. When you look at people who have achieved extraordinary things, you'll notice one common thread. They've built powerful routines around their goals. They don't rely on motivation because motivation fades. Instead, they rely on structure. A disciplined person doesn't wake up each morning asking, do I feel like it today? They simply do it. Whether it's training, learning, saving, or planning, their commitment is stronger than their comfort. The small, consistent actions you take daily create invisible momentum that compounds over time. 1 hour of reading, 1 workout, 1 healthy meal, 1 act of discipline. These may seem small today, but over months and years, they redefine your future. Discipline also builds character. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your integrity. You begin to trust yourself more. You start to realize that you are capable of doing difficult things, and that builds confidence. The opposite is also true. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your resolve. You teach yourself to doubt your word. That's why self-discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect. It's a daily declaration that you're serious about your dreams. It means you value your future enough to act in alignment with it today. Discipline also brings clarity. When you establish consistent routines, you remove the chaos of indecision. You no longer waste energy deciding what to do next because your habits guide you. Your focus sharpens, your productivity increases, and your stress decreases. You become intentional with your time instead of reactive to circumstances. You start to design your days rather than drifting through them. That kind of structure gives you a sense of direction and control, which is essential for long-term success. But discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. There will be days when you stumble, when your routine feels heavy, when progress seems slow. The key is to show up anyway. Every time you push through resistance, you grow stronger. Every time you choose is discipline over distraction, you reinforce the mindset of a winner. And soon, what once felt difficult becomes effortless. That's the magic of consistency. It turns struggle into strength and effort into excellence. Ultimately, discipline is the bridge between goals and results. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter and staying consistent. You can't control everything in life, but you can control your actions, your habits, and your effort. And when you master those, success becomes inevitable. The person who practices daily discipline may not see immediate results, but over time, they build a life others only dream of. A life defined by purpose, focus, and unstoppable growth. Surrounding yourself with people who elevate your standards is one of the most transformative choices you can make for your life. The truth is, your environment shapes your mindset, your habits, and ultimately, your destiny. You can't rise to greatness if you're surrounded by mediocrity. The people you spend the most time with quietly influence your beliefs about what's possible. If you want to grow, you must choose company that challenges you, inspires you, and pushes you to become more than you were yesterday. Growth is contagious, but so is complacency. That's why you must be intentional about earns a seat at your table. When you surround yourself with high achievers, dreamers, and disciplined individuals, you begin to absorb their energy. Their mindset becomes your new normal. Their ambition ignites your own. Their habits remind you what consistency looks like in action. You start to think differently, speak differently, and act differently. Not because you're copying them, but because their presence raises your internal standard. You can't spend time with people who are constantly striving to improve without feeling a pull to do the same. That's the power of association. It multiplies your potential by aligning you with others who expect excellence. On the other hand, being around negative, lazy, or unmotivated people can slowly drain your drive. They might not mean harm, but their lack of vision can limit yours. They'll tell you your goals are unrealistic, that success is luck, or that you're changing too much. But remember, those opinions often come from fear, not wisdom. If you're not careful, their doubts become your beliefs, and their limitations become your excuses. Protect your energy by setting boundaries. You don't have to cut people out of your life completely, but you do have to choose who gets your time, your attention, and your influence. Elevating your circle isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. It means surrounding yourself with people who share your values, who celebrate your growth instead of being threatened by it, and who hold you accountable when you fall short. True friends don't just make you feel good, they make you better. They call you out when you settle for less. They push you toward your goals when you lose focus. They remind you of your potential when you forget it. That kind of support system is priceless, and it's built through mutual respect and shared ambition. One of the best ways to elevate your environment is to seek mentors, people who have walked the path you aspire to follow. Learn from their wisdom, their mistakes, and their habits. Observe how they think, how they handle challenges, and how they stay grounded amid success. Even if you can't meet them in person, you can still surround yourself with their mindset through books, podcasts, or courses. You don't have to know someone personally to be influenced by their greatness. What matters is that you stay connected to people and ideas that feed your growth. As you grow, your circle will change. That's okay. You're not leaving people behind. You're moving toward your potential. Every new level of life requires a new level of association. Choose to be around those who challenge your comfort zone and remind you that you can do more, be more, and achieve more. Because when your environment supports your evolution, success stops being a struggle. It becomes a natural outcome of who you've chosen to become. Turning challenges into opportunities for growth is is one of the greatest skills a person can develop on the journey to transformation. Life will never be free of obstacles. It can always be full of lessons. Every difficulty you face carries within it a seed of potential, a lesson, a strength, a new perspective waiting to be uncovered. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up lies in the number of challenges they encounter, but in how they choose to respond to them. Challenges are not roadblocks meant to stop you. They are tests designed to shape you into the person capable of achieving your dreams. When adversity hits, most people focus on what's going wrong. They complain, resist, or retreat. But those who grow from challenges look deeper. They ask, what is this trying to teach me? That simple shift in mindset changes everything. Instead of seeing struggle as punishment, they see it as preparation. Every setback becomes a form of training, building mental resilience, emotional intelligence, and patience. Difficult moments strengthen the same way a gym strengthens muscle. Without resistance, there can be no growth. The more challenges you face and overcome, the more confident and capable you become. Adversity also forces you to think creatively. When the usual path is blocked, you're pushed to find a new one. Many breakthroughs in life and business have come from people who refused to quit when things got hard. They looked at their problems from a new angle and discovered solutions others couldn't see. That's how innovation is born, through necessity. When you face challenges with an open mind and a determined heart, you unlock levels of creativity and resourcefulness that comfort could never provide. Challenges also reveal your character. It's easy to stay positive when everything goes your way, but true growth is revealed in moments of struggle. How you handle pressure, disappointment, and uncertainty defines who you really are. Will you crumble or will you rise? Every storm gives you the chance to prove your strength, to test your faith, and to reaffirm your commitment to your goals. It's in those moments that leaders are forged, not in times of ease, but in seasons of difficulty. It's important to remember that challenges are temporary, but the lessons they teach can last a lifetime. Every time you overcome an obstacle, you carry the wisdom forward. You become more grounded, more adaptable, and more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes next. You stop fearing failure because you realize it's not the end. It's just feedback. Failure becomes your greatest teacher, showing you what to refine, what to change, and what to strengthen. The more you embrace this mindset, the less power challenges have over you. When you begin to see every hardship as an opportunity to grow, your entire perspective on life changes. You stop running from problems and start welcoming them as stepping stones. You realize that Every challenge is shaping you, polishing you, and preparing you for something greater. What once felt like an obstacle becomes part of your foundation, because growth doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from learning how to use it. Every challenge, no matter how difficult, holds within it the power to make you stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. Focusing on progress, not perfection, is one of the most liberating and powerful principles you can apply to your life. Too many people never start because they want everything to be flawless from the beginning. They fear mistakes, judgment, and failure, so they wait, plan, and hesitate, hoping for the perfect moment that never arrives. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. It's a moving target that keeps you trapped in inaction. Progress, however, is real. It's measurable, achievable, and transformative. Every small step forward, no matter how imperfect, brings you closer to your goals. Success is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent in your growth. When you focus on progress, you give yourself permission to learn, to try, and to evolve. You stop demanding perfection and start appreciating improvement. The most successful people in the world didn't start as experts. They started as beginners who refused to quit. They understood that mastery is a journey built on thousands of small wins, not one flawless performance. Progress allows you to celebrate effort instead of criticizing imperfection. Each day you show up, each time you try again after falling short, you're building momentum. And momentum is what turns effort into excellence. Perfectionism, on the other hand, creates fear. The fear of not being good enough, the fear of failure, the fear of being judged. It paralyzes action and leads to frustration. You become so focused on avoiding mistakes that you stop taking risks. And without risks, there's no growth. Progress shifts your attention from outcome to process. It helps you appreciate the journey, the learning, and the gradual transformation that comes from persistence. Instead of chasing a flawless result, you chase a better version of yourself each day. That mindset not only builds confidence, but also fuels long-term success. Focusing on progress also teaches patience. Real transformation takes time, and growth rarely happens in a straight line. There will be days of rapid advancement and days where it feels like you're standing still. But even slow progress is still progress. When you recognize that every effort counts, you develop resilience. You stop comparing your journey to others, and start measuring your growth against you were yesterday. That shift in focus keeps you motivated, even when results are not immediately visible. It reminds you that small steps compound over time into extraordinary change. Embracing progress also means accepting mistakes as part of the process. Every setback carries a lesson, Every failure provides feedback, and every imperfect effort builds experience. Instead of being discouraged, you use those moments as fuel to improve. This creates a powerful cycle of growth, effort, reflection, adjustment, and improvement. The more you repeat it, the stronger you become. You learn to see value in the process rather than just the prize. You begin to appreciate the fact that the journey itself is shaping your character, your mindset, and your future. When you let go of perfection and embrace progress, you begin to enjoy the process of becoming. You start to move with freedom instead of fear, confidence instead of comparison. You no longer wait for everything to be right before you act. You act. And that action makes things right. Progress is what transforms potential into performance and dreams into reality. It's not about how fast you move or how perfect the path looks. It's about moving forward, learning as you go, and becoming just a little better every single day. Living each day with purpose, vision, and gratitude is the essence of meaningful and successful life. Every sunrise gives you a new opportunity to direct your energy, your thoughts, and your actions towards something that truly matters. Purpose gives you direction, vision gives you clarity, and gratitude gives you strength. When these three work together, they turn ordinary days into extraordinary journeys. You stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. Life becomes less about getting through the day and more about making each day count. Purpose is what wakes you up in the morning. Vision is what guides your steps. And gratitude is what keeps your heart centered no matter what challenges come your way. Living with purpose begins with knowing what you stand for. It's about understanding why you do what you do. People who live with purpose don't drift. They decide. They choose their goals based on their values, not just their desires. Purpose gives your actions meaning. It turns work into contribution and challenges into opportunities to grow. When you have a strong why, you can endure almost any hoe. Purpose-driven people don't chase every opportunity. They focus on what aligns with their mission. That focus creates power because it channels your time and energy into what truly matters. Vision is the second key. It's the mental picture of the life you're striving to create. Without vision, even the most talented person can lose direction. Vision gives you something to aim for, something to measure progress against. It reminds you where you're going when the road gets rough. The clearer your vision, the stronger your motivation. Vision turns your goals into something tangible, a future you can see, feel, and believe in before it becomes real. People who hold onto their vision through difficult times are the ones who ultimately achieve greatness. They understand that every small effort Every disciplined action is a brick in the foundation of that vision. Gratitude ties everything together. It's the mindset that keeps you grounded while you pursue greatness. When you practice gratitude daily, you shift your focus from what's missing to what's already working. You start noticing blessings instead of burdens, progress instead of problems. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring difficulties. It means finding light even in dark moments. It gives you resilience because as you begin to see that every experience, good or bad, has value. People who live with gratitude attract more opportunities, better relationships, and deeper fulfillment. Gratitude keeps your heart open, your mind positive, and your spirit strong. When you combine purpose, vision, and gratitude, life takes on a deeper meaning. You wake up with clarity, move through your day with confidence, and end each night with peace. You become intentional with your time and choices because you understand that every day is a gift and every decision shapes your destiny. This way of living doesn't just lead to success, it leads to fulfillment. It allows you to grow while appreciating the journey, to achieve without losing yourself, and to inspire others simply by the way you live. When purpose drives you, vision guides you, and gratitude sustains you, you create a life that's not just successful, but truly significant.